Hello everyone and welcome to the GeekWave. This is the low budget show. It's the show so low, it has no budget. You've been it, you got it, you understand it. Man, has it been a stressful week for me. Just a lot going on, and I don't need to get into it. I'm not going to get into it because I'm just here to say, weird video this week. This episode was one I was like, okay, I got to do this at some point just because it's funny. It's funny, so I'm like, we're going to do the funny thing. Let's do it. Let's get into it. It's very cool. We're talking about the Joker, that classic, all-American film I absolutely adore. That's sarcasm because everything about the Joker movie upsets me to my core. I really dislike everything that movie tried to be, but I'm sitting here, I'm talking to myself like, hey, what's the next Joker? What can we make the next Joker movie to be? We'll get into it at the end here, but just like with every episode of the GeekWave, we have a couple pieces of news to talk about. And I wanted to start with this. Paramount Plus had their big, investor showcase or something, where they revealed a bunch of new series and things that are coming to the platform. And it looks like Paramount Plus is getting a very big push. So Viacom CBS is changing their name to Paramount, so it's going to be all folded into that, which makes sense to me. I knew that was coming. I think we all knew that was coming. There was no surprises there. I am looking at their Twitter feed right now where they did their thread of everything that was coming in when talk. So we'll look at the Twitter thread and we'll see what's on the horizon for the Paramount Plus. I like this platform. I think it still needs to grow for me to consider it something like Apple or Amazon. I hope it gets there because it's doing some cool stuff with its content that I'm very excited for. So the first big thing is we got a Season 2 renewal for Halo. The first season drops on March 24th, which is going to be cool to see. Second season underway. They're trying to do their Mandalorian. They are trying to do their Game of Thrones. Halo is a great franchise to do that with. So I like it. I think that's a great idea. A great way to start this idea. Just show you hey, Halo is taking off. We're going to make this into something special. That's pretty cool. And they said starting in 2024, Paramount Plus will be the exclusive streaming home for all new Paramount Picture movies after their theatrical runs. Makes sense to me. They're all going to do this. This is going to be the norm. Just you wait and see. This is how everything's going to be so far. I like it. I believe it. I knew this was coming. I'm not surprised by this in the slightest. It does make sense to me, so I cannot complain about that. Jumping from there, we get some more information on the Transformers franchise that they had. So Rise of the Beast will be released theatrically in 2023 and is the first of 3 new installments. Yep, makes sense to me. We got to do our, what the hell is it called? Beast Wars? Is it Beast Wars, that era? Yeah, makes sense to me. Trilogy of Beast Wars. Why not? Let's get there. Alongside that, we have a new animated series from Nickelodeon that arrives this fall. Very cool. And in 2024, the franchise expands further with a CG animated Transformers theatrical film. They should all be doing this. You got these properties, make them animated. It's not cheaper, but it looks better. Makes sense to me. I love the idea of a theatrical release Transformers film that's animated. That is so cool. I love that. And that's almost outshined by the fact that Sonic 3 is official. They're going to make a third Sonic movie. Of course, that second one's going to do so good. It's coming out at the perfect time that it's just going to take the world by storm. And on top of that, on top of Sonic getting a third movie, Idris Elba will be reprising his role as Knuckles in an original series coming to Paramount Plus. What? That is so insane. Why would they give Knuckles a spin-off TV show? He's getting peacemakered. I'm like, what the hell? That is so funny. But I love it. What a great idea. I think that's pretty cool. Wow. Really? You're going to give Knuckles a TV spinoff? Who are they going to introduce in this? Probably Blaze, of course. You have to introduce Blaze. Probably Shadow. I would see being teased in this, and then in Sonic 3, he would be the main antagonist. We have so much weird Sonic stuff coming. It's kind of cool, actually. It's weird. If only Mario would follow this rabbit hole. From there, we see that the next installment of A Quiet Place will be coming in 2025. Okay, I don't know if you need to make more of these, but good for you, John Krasinski, making more of these things. And, let's see, Quiet Place. The next installment of the Quiet Place movie is coming next year and will be directed by Michael Sornowski. So it's not Krasinski doing it. And then part 3. So there's going to be an in-betweener that's a different thing. Okay. Why not? Then we got here Paramount theatrical blockbusters like Top Gun, Lost City, Mission, and Dungeons and Dragons will head to Paramount. Yeah, of course they will. Super pumped for that Dungeons and Dragons movie. I love Chris Pine. This is the perfect role for him. Super cool. And from there, Babylon from Academy Award-winning director Damien Chazelle, starring Brad Pitt and Margot Robbie, is coming to theaters before streaming on Paramount Plus. That's going to be a cool one. I'm very curious to see what Babylon's going to be because I actually don't know what's going to happen in this. That's kind of exciting, just that we're getting something new and fresh that I'm not aware of. Very cool. And from there, as a streaming home for Bikini Bottom, 3 new SpongeBob character-driven movies are coming exclusively to Paramount Plus, and a big theatrical tentpole is in the works. So this is cool. Like I'm somebody who has said this. I know why they didn't make it when Steven was alive, because he's like, we cannot do spin-offs and all this stuff. And the fact that Hillenburg has passed away and now they're like, we're going to market the hell out of SpongeBob. I get it. I don't love it. I will say, though, there is some good stuff in Camp Coral and there's some good stuff in the Patrick Star Show. Character-driven movies, I don't know what that could be. If I had to guess, that long talked about Sandy Cheeks movie, I could see a Plankton movie being something that people would work on. And I'm going to just throw out an oddball one there and say Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. I think that would be the third one, which would be really cool. If they just said, no, we're going to make like Dawn of Justice and just parody that with Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy, that's a great idea. And for the big tentpole thing, yeah, it's just going to be the SpongeBob 4, whatever that's going to look like. But from there, we got something pretty cool. So they announced a lot of new stuff for Ninja Turtles. We knew 2023 was going to be the year that the Turtles get a big release from Seth Rogen. I'm super pumped for that. I love that idea. They showed some concept art. It's looking very the Mitchells versus the Machines, which is a really cool idea. Like, that aesthetic is kind of jarring at first when you're seeing it in like still images, but I think that's going to work really well for the Turtles. So that's cool. We knew that movie was coming. But also from that, it's going to be followed. No, followed makes me think these are going to be in the same continuity. It's followed by a series of villain-driven films exclusively on Paramount Plus. I freaking love this idea of just like these exclusive films for Paramount Plus with villains driving them. Do you know how much cool potential that could be? There are so many great villains in Ninja Turtles that you could just make so much cool shit. I've said this, I put it on Twitter. I have been sitting on a pitch for Rat King for so long. 1 part's Ratatouille, 1 part Joker, honestly. Like, I really want to do a Rat King film. But I could see Shredder being there. I could see, we could do Dimension X being a thing in there. Leatherhead, I could see, like, there's so many cool opportunities where to take this. And from there, we got, Big Nate. Yep, that's cool. Big Nate, that's going to be something a lot of people do. That animation looks great. We have a Paw Patrol sequel coming out, The Mighty Movie, very cool, and a spin-off coming to Nickelodeon. That's exciting. Here's another big thing that I think is really cool. A new Blue's Clues movie, Blue's Clues City Adventure, is coming later this year, and it's going to have every single guy that was in Blue's Clues. So it's No Way Home but Blue's Clues. How fucking cool is that? That is so sick. That might be my favorite announcement they made, just because I did a video recently talking about how like Blue would be the one dog I'd want. I love this. It looks fun. I cannot wait to watch this. And a Baby Shark movie. Who gives a fuck? Like, it's happening. From there, we see that Dora the Explorer is getting a new animated series, and Preschoolers and live action series in the same spirit as the recent Dora movie. Oh, a live action series in the same spirit as the recent Dora movie for older audiences. Riverdale Dora? Oh, please, Riverdale Dora. That would be so fucking sick. Let's see. From there, last year, iCarly was the top comedy acquisition driver. Now, season 2 is taping now. Makes sense to me. They just released the In-Between starring Joey King, plus powered by blah, 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 whatever. Fantasy football, all that stuff. You get it. Some of that stuff's coming there. Teen Wolf the movie. A lot of people are up in arms about this one. I get it. I do get it. Interesting stuff. We got some more information here. May 5th is Strange New Worlds. I think I'm going to do reviews for Strange New Worlds because I'm super excited for that. So that's kind of cool. And what else? We got a couple more just like pieces of news, like, okay, the football stuff, that's not really our league here. You know, Premier League, I'll be streaming there. CBS News will be there on Paramount Plus. SEAL Team the movie, cool. Rio Shore, Acapella Shore, okay, whatever. I don't think that matters, but Challenge TV. And what do we got here? Exciting South Park news. South Park will premiere 2 events on Paramount Plus each year for the next 6 years. Holy shit. They're going to do 12 events? These guys are making this is a smart move for these guys. Good job, dude. The full series catalog will be exclusive to Paramount Plus internationally in 2022 and in the US in 2025. That is insane. That is really cool. Like, good for you guys. That's amazing. And we got here, this July is premiering an exclusive Beavis and Butthead movie followed by brand new episodes. Yep. That's also coming. Cool. From Taylor Sheridan, the co-creator of Yellowstone and Kingstown and the creator of 1883, comes 5 new cinematic series that tell the American story from the vantage point with one-in-a-generation movie start. What the fuck does that mean? Okay, this is why I'm kind of curious where Paramount's going to go, because they are clearly paying these guys to make some really cool auteur shit. Like, Taylor Sheridan must have an exclusive fucking deal with Paramount to release some of this stuff. That is super cool, because you don't see that from other channels. The Netflix stuff doesn't sound this interesting, honestly. So 5 cinematic series from Taylor Sheridan? That's amazing. That's amazing. On April 28th, The Offer premieres on Paramount Plus and tells one of Hollywood's wildest stories, how the iconic film The Godfather almost didn't happen. It stars Miles Teller, Juno Temple, Matthew Good, and Giovanni Ribisi. Like, okay. I'm not a big Miles Teller fan, but The Offer, come on. Like, that's a cool idea. Limited series, very cool. Grease, Rise of the Pink Ladies is a splashy musical prequel to the classic film Grease, but updated today with new music and choreography. Fuck yes! Why haven't we been rebooting Grease for years? It's brilliant. I love it. Great idea. So cool. So more new series coming to Paramount Plus and blah, blah, blah. We got the creators of, okay, psychological thriller called Rabbit Hole, Lizzie Kaplan, and a Fatal Attraction reboot. Okay. That's something. Oh, and this summer, Paramount Plus will come to the UK. That's cool. That's going to make a lot of people happy. And then what do we got here? As we continue to expand Paramount Plus into global markets, we already have 50 new international originals being planned and have 2 seasons of... Wow. Okay, so that's amazing. This is fucking incredible. Like, this just drop where they showed, like, look what we're doing. You do not see that kind of drop from other directors and other talents. Like, I think Paramount Plus, I say this loosely, but look, you got fucking Halo, you got Taylor Sheridan, you got Sonic, SpongeBob, Ninja Turtles, Paw Patrol, Dora, Star Trek. I think in, say, 10 years' time, Paramount Plus could be the #1 streaming service. That's a big risk, but I honestly think we're going to see some shakeups in the next couple of years. I think Netflix is going down. I think Amazon will just continue to pump out mediocrity. I think we're going to see the uprise of Paramount Plus because all of this sounds really cool. There wasn't a thing on here where I'm like, I don't need that. Maybe A Quiet Place, but I know people like A Quiet Place. That's really cool. I think that's awesome. So that is all the stuff from the Paramount Plus investor, whatever the fuck they did. That's cool. We have another couple pieces of news here I do want to talk about. First off, this is a really interesting one. Disney's going to make neighborhoods now. So if you ever want to live your dream Disney fantasy, there you go. Live in a Disney home called Story Living. It's going to be in California. Surprise, surprise. Well, Disney grew up in California. Insanity. Why would anybody want to live in a house built by Disney? That is just so weird. It makes me uncomfortable. That's how it starts because Disney is a major conglomerate. And when that starts, Apple's going to do it, Amazon's going to do it, all these big companies are going to start doing this, and we're going to be literally owned by these people in these homes. Like, that is terrifying to me. I do not like that concept, and I hope it doesn't come to fruition. But it's Disney, chances are some crazy shit's going to happen. I have one final piece of news I do want to end on because this is kind of like a positive story. I think it's very cool. So the early 2000s comic book Justice League and Avengers, the JLA and Avengers, It's being brought back to print. Marvel and DC have agreed to re-release it. All proceeds will go to the Hero Initiative, which is part of George Perez's big, I guess, charity that he works with, and it's all in support of him. This is cool. Like, why did it take this long to announce this? I think the moment somebody brought it into the conversation, there were some high-ups at both companies that are like, we have to do this, and now that it's getting, like, through, that's awesome. I love this book. It's very fun. If you do manage to snag yourself a copy, do so, because it's really cool. And you're supporting a great charity, and you're supporting an iconic comic book artist and fantastic guy. George Perez is amazing. And I don't know if he's getting better, but he's still holding on. He's still fighting, and we hope for the best of him. This is really cool, and I just cannot wait to see what's going to come next from collaborations between Marvel and DC, because I don't think it's done. I think if this book sells well, and both companies realize that Comixology is fucking them over, we could be seeing some major shakeups happening at both companies. But that is all the news we have, and we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to jump into the world of Gotham and make some shitty movies. So, there was a Joker movie. It made $1 billion. Joaquin Phoenix won an Oscar. It was literally just Taxi Driver mixed with King of Comedy. Like, I thoroughly disliked what that film was. I thoroughly disliked what it did to the Joker character because for some reason it said, let's make him sympathetic. That's how we make money off this shit. The Joker is a terrible character, and I would never write the Joker in a million years unless I was paid a lot of money to do so. So in the spirit of that movie, and in the spirit of the Batman-themed GeekWave month that is February, I figured let's take some more members of the Batman Rogues Gallery and make their version of the Joker movie. And what do I mean by that? It's like, well, we're going to make them a sympathetic hero, even if it's forcing them to be sympathetic, and it's all going to be ripped off from another film. Is that going to make people happy? Who gives a shit? That's what we're doing. That is what these are going to be. I figured we would start by doing the simplest of the simplest ones. Two-Face. Harvey Dent is my personal favorite villain in Batman's Rogues Gallery. He's, I honestly think, the coolest. He represents the destruction of Gotham and how it can never truly be saved. And he's the easiest to do because, you know, he's a district attorney. You just do a Law and Order. I would personally do something like The People versus O.J. Simpson. So here's what I'm thinking, right? Harvey Dent, he's not O.J., of course. He's defending somebody else. Let's say he's Marsha. You know, he's Marsha Clark, and he's trying to defend somebody. He's going against this obviously like celebrity type person, and we're just seeing his corrupt downfall into getting his way in the system. He's sympathetic with him just because you're like, this guy's cool and confident, and he could take care of himself, and he's just an amazing overall perfect boy inside this crummy city. But you slowly see how corrupt the world is and how it's corrupting him around him. I want to say this too. The theme for every one of these films is we live in a society. And that's just the theme. That's just going to happen no matter what. So when Harvey Dent shows up and he's just suddenly the most powerful two-faced son of a bitch in all the city, you're like, yeah, that makes sense. The law, the crime, everything to do with this city's judicial system was so busted and broken that it took its golden boy and stripped him down where he couldn't get like a clearly evil guy of just charged. He got acquitted and he's like, well, I can't do this. This city's breaking me apart. And that's when Harvey Dent gets, shot in the face or something, burned in the face, whatever. Something happens to him. The Two-Face comes in. He descends into full-on, chaotic, crazy son of a bitch. Oh, I love it. You see how easy it is to make these? Like, this is, I literally think this is like the amount of thought that went into the Joker film. It's like, okay, I'm Todd Phillips. I have to make a Joker film. Well, my life's not a tragedy, it's a comedy. So Taxi Driver, King of Comedy. It's just a Scorsese film. Like, shut the fuck up. You're not special or clever, and nothing about you works well. I hate every second of it. Now, when it comes to the Penguin, I literally think it's just the same as the Joker. you know, this guy is bullied for being deformed, and he just takes over the underbelly of the city. Like, it's literally just Taxi Driver, like this crazy guy that nobody really likes, and suddenly he just becomes one of the most prominent evil guys who just talks about how crazy the city is. You could camp it up a little bit more where he's just kind of like a colorful, insane lunatic, but why would you want to? Like, just make it gritty, dark, and disturbing. Have nothing really work out for this guy. He's just a loser and a psychopath. That's all you need from this. That's all you need, just a fucking loser. I like the Penguin. I don't think he's that cool. Like, I have a picture of some like the rogues I want to talk about. The Penguin's like the one I'm like, yeah, that's easy. You know, just a guy who's picked on from society for looking different. That's literally, you could do like the Elephant Man meets whatever. But I do have an Elephant Man pitch, and that's Killer Croc. I kind of want to make Killer Croc the sad clown where like he looks deformed and everybody hates him for it, but he doesn't turn to the life of crime quite yet. He's just like trying to fit in and be normal, but all these doctors are like, what is wrong with you? Why are you so disturbing and weird? And you're just watching this man who, I'm doing the skin condition version of Waylon, where he's actually a normal human, where he's not a big croc monster, but he's like a normal guy with a skin condition, and slowly he turns mad and eats people. Like, society hates him because he's different, and then, you know, he just turns into a life of crime, and he becomes like a thug, and the only jobs he can get are just like being an asshole for like certain crime bosses, and he doesn't want to do it, but like society is forcing him to become this thing he doesn't want to be. That's all I want to do for Killer Croc. Just show the saddest clown out there. Not a sad clown like Joker. I mean a sad clown like this guy is trying so hard to be positive about his life, to be positive about who he is. But at every turn, nobody gives a shit. At every turn, everybody just makes fun of him, and they don't talk shit. They just laugh in his face because, like, you're a disgusting freak. Let's point and laugh at you. And when he finally gets his name out there, it's just because he looks like a crocodile man. You just call it Croc, you know, when you just make that stupid fucking movie. This is I think this is really fun for me just because I hate the Joker movie, so ruining everybody else I think is great. Who should we go to next? What about Riddler? Now, Riddler, I'm very curious to see what Paul Dano's going to do in that new Batman film, but let's be real, guys. Let's be real about the Joker. I mean, let's be real about the Riddler. It's just Zodiac, or it's Saw. I think Saw would be a good one. Like, you're trapped in a room and you're solving riddles, and like maybe he's like this kind of like child prodigy kid who gets like trapped in like this box, and suddenly he's like, society has broken me because I had to experience like this travesty in my life. Like, I'm saying Edward was in the Saw situation, and then he kind of like gets inspired by it to start his own thing because none of these characters in this Joker universe are actually original. So I love it. Or you just do it English trying to solve a Zodiac thing. You know, or like in Gotham, he was working for the police department. You could do that story, but he's like, this is like a riddle or a mystery I'm trying to solve. And it could be the crime master. You could make that the crime master that he's doing something with. I think that'd be so funny. I think that'd be so funny. Just like this guy who just, his downward spiral is that he's just become so obsessed with like mystery and puzzles and just like the allure of secrecy and riddles, and that's it. That's all. That's how he goes crazy. Society breaks him because he's like, everything's a riddle, you know? There's no truth behind everything. It's like all shades and smokes and curtains. You don't really understand any of it. Just a complete and utter lunatic. I think that would be hilarious and make for some incredibly funny stuff. I love this. I'm having so much fun just shitting on the Batman Rogues Gallery. So who should we do next? Let's talk about Hugo Strange, I guess. Don't know why. Just thought we'd go there. I don't know what you do with Hugo. Like, there's so many stories where it's just kind of like the guy who becomes a monster. And he's just a terrible dude. So I think you literally just make ER, but for an asshole. And that's all it is. He's like, look at how society has broken our medical system. I will become my own menace. There's one pitch I do have actually that I think is really good. And it's just The Fly, but Man-Bat. Like, Kurt is such a strong character who you would just want to see. You want him to be like the lizard character like Kurt Connors, where you're like, this guy deserves to be happy. deserves the happy ending, but he turns himself into this monster, kind of Jekyll and Hyde-ish, but I think the Flash is more grotesque. And I think when you're doing a Gotham thing, having it be like a creature that's like a bat and just like this methodical, disturbing thing, it's a little more cool. Like, you remember how like in the Cronenberg's The Fly, like it's just like this grotesque, shape-shifting fuck up? That's what I want to see for a Man-Bat film. Just like this, like the huge ears spouting from his head, like his arms stringing to like these disturbingly huge, lanky wings, and this insane-looking, monstrous man, and just how he tries to survive and just like becoming this freak. Everything Morbius isn't is what I want for Man-Bat, because I think that would be super, super cool. You know, just seeing like this intense monster just go about and just like, just so cool. That was like literally like the one pitch where I was like, that actually works. I think that could be a really fun movie. We would never see it in a million years because for some reason, I don't understand this. For some reason, DC is afraid to let Batman movies go crazy. Like, they just have to be like these colorful lunatics, but like they can never get to the weird stuff. Like, why can't we see Killer Croc or Man-Bat like fully commit to that in a Batman movie? And speaking of committing to the bit, I want to remake Joker. Literally the same thing. But instead of like being obsessed with talk shows, he's obsessed with like theater and production. So there's kind of like the Phantom of the Opera element to it. I want to do that for Clayface. You know, just like the thespian who's just like trying so hard to be like seen in this world. He's trying to like audition for these theaters, and he starts to fall in love with like this theater girl and all this weird stuff, and he starts to just like become Clayface. I don't know how Clayface becomes Clayface. Like, I'm assuming he falls into like a vat of clay or whatever. That's it. Like, that's all I want. Or you could have a kind of like Phantom of the Opera-ish where he is already the Clayface. He's trying to be the theater guy, the thespian, and then at every turn, like, he has to hide his true form from this woman he loves. There's tragedy to it, and I think coming off of the Harley Quinn cartoon, people kind of want that more dramatic flair to their Clayface because it was so good to see. I think it'd just be like a really fun experience to show that and do something cool. Like, I really want to put Clayface in a Batman movie. I love the villain. I think it'd be really fun. But here it is. I loved my pitch for Clayface. I love my pitch for Man-Bat. When it comes to the one where I'm like, this is the one I want to make, it's this one. The Mad Hatter. And you're like, okay, well, that's easy. Alice in Wonderland. No, I do not want to do that. I want to do Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. But for the Mad Hatter. This insane, like, small dude who's just, like, tripping his fucking nuts off, just picturing all this weird insanity. He's picturing Wonderland in his head, and that's how he becomes the Mad Hatter. And, you know, he's just, like, obsessed with this, like, randomness in the world. He's just slowly descending into this, like, madness, and he doesn't distinguish, like, Wonderland from reality, and he's just evading all these weird forces in Gotham while he's just high on his ass. I think it's hilarious because it's fucking Mad Hatter. What else are you gonna do? There is nothing to do with Mad Hatter that hasn't already been done before. I don't know what you could do. So I'm like, make it trippy and weird. Just make Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas that really fun movie that I don't think it's the credit it deserves. I think that'd be super cool to see. So really trippy, weird, balls to the wall, narrative, just broken record bullshit. I love it. I think it'd be sick. I think it'd be really fun. We should do it. We should get there. Let's talk about Harley Quinn. They did Birds of Prey. That's all I need. Like, I don't think there's a Harley Quinn movie you can make that hasn't been done better in cartoon or in Birds of Prey. There isn't one. Like, the character has, I think, been perfect in almost every outing except for, like, the first Suicide Squad movie. I don't know what else you do. Catwoman, I think you just do Catwoman Hunted in live action because that script works where she's, like, going international. She's stealing jewels. You kind of have to make it the spy thing. That works for me for Catwoman. Like, this character is not going to be sympathetic. Like, Catwoman is just too sexy to be sympathetic. You are just going to follow the allure of this woman no matter what she is doing. You don't have to make her cool or crazy or anything. You just make a Catwoman film. That's it. To me, one of the hard ones to do, just because I'm like, I really don't know where you'd go with this. I really don't, because Poison Ivy, I think, is a hero. I think doing the thing where she has to, like, destroy society, well, her whole gimmick is society is ruining this beauty. And I don't really know if there's another movie that really, like, explores that theme to the extreme. I don't want to say it should be like Little Shop of Horrors. I don't want to say that. I could see it like this, though. Uncut gems, but with a plant? Is that something? Is that anything? Uncut gems. I was, Josh Sadfi's muse and Uncut Gems. There's a dated meme for you. I don't know. Maybe that's something. Like Poison Ivy, I think, is so easy to make. And not even just as like an homage to another film. Just in terms of a character, it's like, yeah, she's trying to protect the environment. And look at these dudes that are polluting it and ruining it for her. That's easy to do. That is literally just being a woman. I think that's awesome. Make it. Like, the fact that we haven't got a Poison Ivy since Uma Thurman is amazing to me, because that character is just so easy to make cool because it's Poison Ivy. Like, come on, what are we even doing here? To me, another hard one was Mr. Freeze, just because he's already sympathetic. Like, you could just literally do like the Nora stuff, but that's so obvious and easy. I kind of this is gonna sound so stupid. I kind of think you should do it kind of similar to what you do with Harvey Dent, except it's Judgment at Nuremberg. Oh my god, I can't believe him. Like, like it's easier to do like the tragedy of love, where he's defending his wife and he's trying to protect her from this illness. Or you could do this. He's on trial for being a bad person for the things he did to protect his wife. Like, he is being tried and he's being guilty. And he's like, society forced me to become this person, Mr. Freeze, to save my wife. And that could be a tragedy to play with too. Because there is something sad about Mr. Freeze. He's one of the more tragic villains in Batman's Rogues. I think it's kind of fun. Why did I do Judgment at Nuremberg? Like, that is such a dark film that deals with, like, World War II. And I'm talking about Mr. Freeze trying to protect his wife. Like, there's some cool stuff to play with there. Parasite would, oh my god, Parasite but Mr. Freeze. Okay, I gotta just process this for a sec. Do you remember in the movie Parasite by Bong Joon-ho, where the wife is like living in the basement to protect like her husband? You do that, the husband is Nora, Freeze is like secretly operating in this lab while this new like tech company or some hero moves into this, and he's like stealing their technology to like protect his wife in the basement. That's not really like an origin story, but like that is pretty sick, where society has forced him to become the criminal this way, and he's protecting himself from the disease that might be killing him with his own helmet. Like, damn, dude. It's never going to happen, but that was such a cool concept I just came up with on the spot. I liked that a lot. I don't know why. That was just so cool to me. Oh. Here's one. Kite Man, but it's the Joker. Nothing changes. It's just Kite Man with the Joker. That's all I got for that. Who else do we have? We have Bane. What do you do for Bane? I guess you could do like the Wrestler or the Warrior or something. You could do like that, lean into that stuff. I'm trying to think of like a type of film that could like really ethically be correct for him. I don't know. And when it comes to Bane, there is again just like, you set it in like a prison somewhere and he's just like the ringleader and he's breaking all these people out. That's something you could do. Probably Commando, I guess, would be something you could do with Bane. Bane, I don't know. Like, who gives a shit? It's Bane. You're going to watch it, you're not. Ra's al Ghul, the head of the demon's head demon, daddy head demon. Highlander, right? You do Highlander, but it's like the League of Assassins? Is that something? I think so. I love it. I think you just do like an immortal thing where you just see like him through different time periods. There's enough of them. There's a bunch of different interpretations of that story where people travel through time. You see them living forever. You could do like a Dorian Gray thing. That could be a fun area to explore. Except the picture is his Lazarus pit. I think Raish could lead his own. And you could get Talia in there. You could get his mother in there. You could get all these characters that would just add to his story and do something very fun. I like Raish, actually. So that could be a fun area to explore and have some cool ideas to present itself with. That's pretty cool. That's something. Who else do we have in Batman's Rogues Gallery? I guess Ventriloquist, you could just do the Joker movie. It's just King of Comedy, but for a ventriloquist. Like, what else, I think Killer Moth would be really fun too, except instead of, comedians, it's just like moths. Oh, that'd be great. That'd be cool. I guess Black Mask is the last one, but you would never do a Black Mask movie just because it'd be either the Two-Face story, the Penguin story, and you already nailed him in Birds of Prey. Like, there's literally nothing else you could do to that character to make him relevant. So there's really no point to even trying to make a a Black Mask movie. Like, I don't know. Roman is just the perfect henchman for whoever, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. None of this matters. Because if these are anything like the Joker, they're all going to be pretentious and Oscar baity for no reason, and people are going to sing the swan song of how society is broken and how we should all be the Jokers in our own lives and shut the fuck up. The only person we should be in our own lives is just ourselves. Who cares? Who likes this? Who wants any of it? I don't know, man. Batman's got a cool rogues gallery, and I think I just ruined all of them in really shitty movies. So this was fun for me just because I hate the Joker movie. And this was a cool way just to shit on everybody else in the Rogues Gallery. Very fun, very cool, very enjoyable. So, with the end of every episode, I do like to have a couple recommendations for you guys. And I want to start off with the recommendation to watch Blue's Clues. It's just really cool and really fun. Mask of the Phantasm is a great Batman flick. The Dark Knight, though it has Joker, it's a good Joker and a good Two-Face. That's for bloody sure. A lot of cool stuff in there. I guess play the Halo games and watch Halo when it comes out, when it does come out, because Halo, I have no doubt it's going to be very big. And what are your pitches for a Batman Joker film? Do you want to O.J. Simpson the hell out of Harvey Dent? Do you want a Fear and Loathing in Mad Hatter? Do you want to do... Oh, fucking Scarecrow. We forgot about Scarecrow. Yeah, what would you do? I guess... Joker, but it's fear? I don't know. What I don't really know what you do with Scarecrow. He's just a nerdy guy who becomes a scientist type person. Whatever. We're moving on, Elephant Man Killer Croc. Oh, this was so fun. Judgment at Nuremberg, Mr. Freeze. I hate myself so much for doing that one. But I did it, and I lived through it, and we're going to move on with our lives. So let me know, what kind of Batman film would you want to make? What kind of Joker film would you want to make? We'll be back next week to talk more about our dream pitches for Batman stuff, and we're going to get pretty weird in that one too. So, as always, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And if you are listening to this on the podcast feed, please give us a rating over there. It definitely helps everything out. And as always, I will catch you guys in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck. Keep on breathing, babe. Keep on breathing.